Hey guys, Nick here with another Nick's Collectibles. This one is going to be on Figma SP-109 Predator 2. Now I just saw this figure online and I had been kind of looking around for a new Figma because I kind of had that itch again that I wanted some more plastic crack. So here we are. He is not a new figure. I think he has actually been out for quite a while. I had trouble finding a release date on this guy, but he does not seem like he's entirely new. However, he is a pretty amazing figure, and the moment I found him, I realized I needed to grab him and go ahead and do a review on him for you guys. So let's go ahead and turn him around real quick so you guys can get a good look at him. Like he's got a stand, which I love. I'm a really big nitpicker when it comes to figures that don't have stands, that keep showing them in dynamic poses that have stands. It's just an irritant for me. Include a stand. This guy looks like he's going to be amazing. I cannot wait to get into this. So without further ado, let's get started. So guys, I went ahead and got him out of the box, and the first thing that I noticed is that he just has a ridiculous amount of detail to him. I mean, just looking at him at a glance, I mean, the top of his forehead here has all the ridges and detailing and nice shadowing that you would want from a figure like this. The shoulder guards here have nice detailing. You look at the arm guard and it's got a crazy amount of detailing along with the wrist blades in there, and those are replaceable. Both of those, I believe, just pull out and they go with the longer ones that are actually in the box. I'll actually get some shots of that and show that to you as well. He's got good detail in the abdomen. If you look, he's got really good skin texture, and the shin guards and everything like that just have a crazy amount of detailing on them. Now, if you go ahead and move him around, well, actually, before we even move him around, if you look, like right over here, you can see there's a sheath right there. And that's so he can actually hold, his dagger. So that actually just goes right in that sheath. Now, if we go ahead and rotate him around just a little bit more, you can see the detailing on the sheath itself is really well done. He's got really good detailing on the armor guards there, and even more detailing on the shin guard, just on the side. If we go ahead and turn him around a little bit more to where you're looking at him from the back, you can even see, even in my lighting, he's got detailing on his individual dreads. He's got detailing right here on these parts. Right there is where his actual shoulder, his plasma cannon mounts. This piece right here, which has a ball joint so it can move in all sorts of different directions and angles. And then if you go ahead and look around to this side as well, you can see he's got a place where I even went ahead and put one of these in. He's got one of the throwing discs that he has. And he even comes with another one of those right here that's super detailed, just as much as that one is. So overall, my first impression of this guy is that he is a phenomenal looking figure. He's great. One of mine's legs is a little loose, but it's not so much so that he can't hold his weight and do some poses. And since they all come with a stand, there's not going to be any major problems getting him in any pose that I really wanted to. And if you want to talk about accessory hands, this guy's just ridiculous. Yeah, I think he's got like 3 to 4 different pairs of hands. I haven't even opened them up to take a look at them. But he's got a bonkers amount of stuff. And even on top of all that, right in here is his staff. And that alone has just a bonkers amount of detail on it and really good shadowing. And with those pieces, the end pieces on that staff come out and then get attached there so that you can have the staff extended on top of that, which I think is just amazing for the amount of money that you spend on the figure. Now, he's a little bit more than the average Figma figure. He ran about $130, but for the detailing and the number of accessories and the stand and just how well he's done, so far, I'm not really disappointed with my purchase. But we're going to go ahead and keep digging into this guy. I'm going to get him in a couple different poses with a couple different things and show you how all those attach. So let's go ahead and move this guy up just a little bit. I want to go ahead and try to remove, if I can do this on camera, remove his lower jaw, which just comes off like that, which looks disconcerting when you see it, but you can see that peg right there. And there you can basically just take one of these and just plug it directly in like that, and there he is with his closed mouth positioning, which looks really good once it's on the figure. It looks a little goofy when you don't have it on, but it looks great once it's on there. And then conversely, you can pull that off and then put on his head mask. And the head mask, I think, looks phenomenal. So those two things alone are pretty amazing just out of his kit, just from the get-go. Now, you can kind of take him and turn him around a little bit here. And then this piece just slots in here. And then you have a shoulder-mounted cannon. And if you rotate it around just a little bit, you can get a good look at it from the side, even. And see how it all attaches. That just pegs right into there. And that looks really good once it's pegged in. I'm really happy with that. So, I mean, that's just his two faces and his mask so far. And we've got tons of stuff that we can do with him from here on out. I mean, let me go ahead and get his hands and everything like that. So I went ahead and got one of his hands out so I can kind of show you how that works. So what you do is you just kind of take his arm here, move that up a little bit, and then these just wiggle out like that. And then you can take these and then you can just peg them right in. So you can just peg them in like that. That's pretty common for any figure of this level. If you guys have had a few of these in the past, you know what I'm talking about. And then if you go ahead and take this, you can go ahead and slide. Probably what you'd want to do is you probably want to take this end off, slide that in like that. Then once you've got it slotted back in, there he is holding his staff. And I think, honestly, that looks really, really good. I'm pretty happy with that overall, just as far as the number of accessories I've looked at so far. So I thought we'd take a break from going over his accessories for a moment, just to kind of go over how posable he actually is and what kind of range of mobility you can expect out of this figure. Let's go ahead and move him up a little bit so you can kind of see. And you can see here, his head has a good mobility side to side. So that's pretty good overall. His arm will move up, and it will go in a full 360, even on the arm that has the shoulder cannon. So from that standpoint, that's actually very good. He actually has a bit of an ab crunch there, and he has side-to-side motion here in the chest area, and he has a little bit in the hip area as well, but it's mostly here in this chest area. Now, you can move his arms around like this. He doesn't have any kind of bicep. Actually, he does. He has bicep rotation. I lied. So he has good bicep rotation. He has good front mobility with his leg that you can see there. He does not have as good mobility when you move it back. It only goes back that far, but that will bend like that. And then he has pretty good toe mobility there. But he does not have good side-to-side mobility. Here, it's just front and back. So from that standpoint, he's actually a very, very solid, very, very well-posed figure. I think he's got really good mobility. He's a little on the floppy side, so you have to be careful when you pose him. Posing him on the camera is quite difficult because his joints are a little looser than normal. It doesn't keep him from being able to hold his own body weight, so it's not too much of a negative. It's just a little awkward when you're first trying to get him in any position that you want to get him into. It does make him easy to move. You don't really have to work the joints to loosen him up or anything like that. He just kind of poses. I'd have to say, overall, for my money, I think he's a really, really good figure. I think that due to the number of accessories, the posability, the number of hands, the stand, and everything like that, that there's not a whole lot more that you would really ask for out of a Predator figure at this size. Now, I do realize he is a more expensive figure than a lot of the others, and so that may be a turnoff for a lot of people. But I think for a figure like this that I can keep and I can pose and I can proudly kind of display for like years and years and have him look better than most of the stuff that's ever hit the market, that it's worth the money. So I would highly recommend going ahead and picking one up if you can. So until next time, guys, I'm out.